the world has basically started to end. I would rather be, I was telling myself, I was like, I would rather be struggling here than be back home. Like,
got it!
You say it's my fault, it's my fault. I feel like I'm just transforming into a clown. That should be the, that should be. Swirl lightly over face with a powder brush. Oh, let me swirl, let me try swirling. Oh, it set the whiteness. Hey everybody, yo. As you guys can see from those previous videos, I have tried to film this video 2 times before, and I think that 3rd time is gonna be the charm. I'm ready, and honestly, I'm tired of just sitting and talking. So today I'm gonna do my makeup. And I should say disclaimer, I'm a beginner at makeup, so I don't know, you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to talk today about why I moved to New York City and how I'm back in Seattle 3 months later. This is so humiliating. First things first, I got a wig on. I have these little clips, and I'm gonna just clip the bangs. If I'm looking this way, it's because I have a little mirror over here. And if you see my lace, mind your business. So I've already washed my face, and I guess I primed it with rose water. So where do I begin? Where do I begin anything? Foundation, right? Is that where y'all start? Or eyebrows? Okay, eyebrows. When I first moved down in February, I had a friend there from college, and so I stayed with, this is actually hard, I can't lie. I stayed with her for 3 weeks until, you know, and I was like finding jobs or looking for jobs. I'm so grateful for her. I would just go out day by day, go to a cafe. I would go to Pret. If y'all know Pret, what's up? But I guess before I get into that, why I moved in the first place, well, why anyone would move, right? Opportunity. Like, here's the thing, there's a lot of people in New York City, right? But there's also a lot of opportunities to match that. It's not like there's a deficit. Is that what the word is? Also, y'all ever want to start something new? Like, come on. Okay, so I finished filming my eyebrows. So when I moved with, this was mistake number 1, I will say. I moved with, and my friend warned me, she's like, don't bring that many things, right? Because I really moved with no job and no house. So she was like, you don't want to lug all that around, and also you never know what's gonna happen. I should have listened. I didn't. I brought 2 whole luggages like a Dumbo, and I hauled them on the train. Thank God she came and helped me. Wow, this might be a disaster. So I'm gonna blend this out now. That was my mistake number 1, is bringing too much. I was living outside of out of my suitcase for like 3 whole weeks. Don't worry, you guys, it's gonna come together. I don't know when, but someday it will. I'm gonna go fix this, and I'm gonna be back. What was I saying? This is really hard. Should I just do a makeup tutorial? But this is not, I don't need to be tutoring anyone about makeup. I need to be getting tutored. But wow, why did I put that on my head? So I was interested in the marketing and advertising companies. It's really hard, like I said, because everyone is so talented, and it's so easy to doubt yourself. And it's so easy to doubt yourself quick as well, because, you know, one thing flops and then you're like, oh man, I'm never gonna get a job. So yeah, I would get an interview here and there, and you know, they would fall through sometimes. I'm just gonna put my foundation on real quick in peace, and then I'm gonna talk. This foundation, I'm actually pretty shocked. I feel like, I mean, I could be really off here, but let me check my phone. I feel like it fits nicely into my skin. So foundation is done. But yeah, so I mean, there were times where I felt really helpless. As you would, you know, moving to any city, you feel like super helpless. I don't know, so I was feeling like, okay, there are like good days, and there's also bad days, but then sometimes the bad days would outweigh the good days, and like I remember just crying like a lot. It's not that off-brand for me. I would go to sleep feeling defeated, and then the next morning I just wake up like, all right, it's a new day. Here are the palettes that I have. Huda. So I always use the warm brown. I don't know why, I like brown tone. Yeah, I mean, there were so many disappointments along the way, but again, like my like hope of like, you know, it's my only 2nd job interview, it's my 3rd job interview, like I'm gonna get something, like don't worry. That would keep me pushing, and it'd keep me optimistic. But then Miss Rona said,
How y'all doing?
and then it just like got really worse. Like my friend from Singapore was like, I'm leaving, like their school sent them back because she was interning with like her university. And I was like, holy moly, this thing is actually really real. And like my other friend was going back to Seattle too, and I was like, uh-oh, like I feel like there's no reason for me to be here right now if everything's shutting down. And so then became me coming to Seattle, and this was in March. I just felt completely defeated, and I was like, God, this is so humiliating again. But like, it's like past the point of just like really humiliating. It was just like embarrassed. Like for me, it just felt like I failed and like I caused this COVID. It really wasn't my fault, you know. And I wish I had like internalized that earlier, that it wasn't my fault. Like, stuff really just happens. So, you know, I spent two months in Seattle, and I learned that like I really be trying to control a lot of things, and sometimes in life you just have to, what I learned in 2020 is that sometimes in life you just have to let, wow, I look crazy, you just have to let things go, and you really can't do much about it but like ride the wave. Throughout the whole time I was like feeling really scattered because, you know, all my belongings were in New York City, and I came with literally a laundry bag back home because I was like, I'm just gonna do laundry. In 2 weeks time this thing is gonna be over. I just had this fantasy that like everything was gonna be okay and that I'd be going back to New York in due time, you know what I'm saying? Like my life is gonna continue. Okay, so this is where it gets juicy. This past week, or 2 weeks ago now I guess, I interviewed for the position. Yeah, like the week before I was like, Mommy, I'm going to New York. And this is a Sunday, and I got like an interview on Monday, and it was so random. And so that I was like, oh, it's meant to be. After I booked my ticket back, a one-way, and it was like a 20-hour flight. For some odd reason, I decided to be a dummy. I ended up getting the job, and I told my manager that I'd be flying back on Saturday to New York. But the point is, like, I was supposed to like have orientation with him on Sunday. So after my 20-hour flight, I get to my doorstep in Brooklyn, and lo and behold, I see like some white cracks on my doorstep, and I was like, this is so odd. I didn't put it there, and it was like a lot of white powder, and I was like, oh my God, did my roommate have some kind of art project? Because she's an artist. So I was like, okay, like this will probably make sense. And I was like, whatever, I'll text her about it. And so then I go inside my room, and there's like more white powder on my bed, like around my bed, and I was like, what is this? And then like right as I get back out of my room, because it's a railroad apartment where I have to get out the room and go to the front door to get inside the actual apartment, my neighbor pops out of my door, and he's like, hey, like, did the landlord contact you about bed bugs? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been gone for 2 months, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, well, interesting, like, our landlord just hit us up about some bed bug situation. I was like, oh, like, I really don't know, like, I'm gonna talk to my roommate about it. And he's like, okay, yeah, just checking in. I mean, if you don't have any, like, then you're probably good, but she just hit us up and we were wondering why. And I was like, oh, okay, like whatever, like this isn't pertaining, right? And so then I walk and go into the actual door and to our room, and lo and behold, there's the white stuff all over. And I was like, I'm still like in denial. I'm like, oh, maybe it's an art project, because I'm really confused, right? I come back out again, and he's like, yeah, she just called us and she's talking about it. And I was like, sir, I literally just got here. It's only my second out here. At this point, I'm like, let me call her because I'm confused. And I call her, and she's like, hey, did you not get the text? And I was like, what text? And she's like, oh, I thought you got the text. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is probably the worst thing to come home to. I was like, you think? And she's like, yeah, we have bed bugs. Like, I'm really sorry that you got the text. I sent a text to both you and the other roommate, and you just didn't reply, and I just thought you didn't care. I was like, you thought that there were bed bugs and that I wouldn't care? And so then I was like, honestly, I started panicking because I'm like, again, like I have my orientation tomorrow with my boss, and I was like, this is so, like, where am I gonna sleep? Where am I gonna do anything? Also, it was after a 20-hour flight, so I was just like super stressed out. I was like, this is not what I wanted to come home to, you know? It's some next level cursory. Like, somebody cursed me, and I'm gonna find out who was. Okay. Next thing I'm gonna do is I bought this setting powder. Oh my God. How do you even use setting powder? Is this how you did it? So yeah, anyways, I call my sister hysterically crying because I was like, I don't know what to do, bro. Like, they got me good. Yeah, so I just like had a breakdown. I'm also not the kind of person that like does well in like crazy situations where you would have bed bugs on your bed just after you got off a 20-hour flight after you've been away for 2 months. That stuff happens to me. Like, that doesn't happen to normal people. It just happens to me. I told my sister, and she was like, just calm down, like, get a hotel for the night. Because what irritated me was when I called the landlord about it. I was like, well, I have nowhere to go because my friend stayed with her, like, friend. And so I was like, well, I don't know nobody in the city. Like, I'm just supposed to die because of the chemicals? And she was like, no, like, just walk around for 3 to 5 hours. Like, go to a restaurant or something. I was like, girl, are you crazy? I just got off a 20-hour flight. I'm not about to go into a restaurant. Number one, we're in a pandemic. Like, I'm gonna finish this clown look for y'all. So I go to the hotel for the night, and I just feel like I was like really determined to, you know, still freaking talk to my boss in the morning, and you know, I will let him know what happened. So I had my orientation thing, but I just like in the back of my head was just, I was like, move on. I was like, I don't know whether I should go back to Seattle or not, because it was just a struggle to move during this pandemic, you know. And for me, I didn't feel comfortable living in with bed bugs. My lease was also ending in June. Like I only signed for 4 months, and so I was like, what's the point of paying another $800 for a room that I'm not like even comfortable sleeping in? I was still struggling. Like for 2 days I was like looking frantically for rooms to like rent, because I was like, I can't leave yet. I feel like I just painted my face white. Like I'm doing white face, please come for me. Yeah, so like for 2 days straight I was just like going back and forth in my own head about like what would be the pros and what would be the cons of coming back. And I ultimately decided like that Monday that I needed to come back. Also, like what was tripping me up is I couldn't do laundry because I didn't have my debit card. It's just a long story. So like I needed to wash everything. I don't have a debit card. It just felt like everything was going wrong, and I had to like open a whole new bank account. I'm gonna let that go for a sec. By miracle of God, the only thing I know how to do is my lashes. What? Wait, should I put foundation over this? Like so many else that came in. Also, I lived on the 3rd floor, so like to do laundry was just, and wash everything was already in itself was like such a struggle, but I managed to do it. And I had to like get rid of my bed. It was just honestly a lot of labor. Forcing things when they just aren't meant to be, it's just a dub. Like why? Like what was the reason, first of all, for all this happening? Like once Corona hit, I should have just known like this just wasn't it, you know. Like this is why I don't put makeup on. Even the lashes today, what one? Embarrassing moment. I thought I put the lash on the right lash, and I was just talking about how I know how to do lashes. I obviously don't. Lastly, I'm going to attempt to do contouring. God knows how to contour. I'm finally done. I feel like if I went out in public with this, like people wouldn't be that mad. Maybe this is how you're supposed to do it. Like I don't know if my story, where I left off, because I had to go off camera to contour and do my, just put my bangs out because my forehead is literally a different shape. I wanted to make this video because we don't really share our weakest moments and our just like failures. And so even though like I'm trying to see this not as a failure, there's always that little voice in my head that's like, oh, like you tried and you didn't succeed. I tried, and that's not gonna mean I'm not gonna try again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm healthy, I'm living, I still have, like, I ended up getting a job, like, and I can work remote, you know? So, like, whenever we fail, that's okay. Like, I just want it to be okay for us to try things in life and not work out. Like, where are those stories of people that move and, like, a pandemic hits and they move back home? Like, here it is. Like, I hope you guys enjoyed this, laughed at my makeup process. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in for the next video, and